I will never forget the sound of the knife scraping the floor. It was faint, but in the silence of the dark room, it felt like thunder. My hands were tied, my mouth stuffed with cloth, and my boyfriend, Tunde, the man I thought I loved, stood over me with empty, cold eyes. The night had started normally. Tunde had invited me to his uncle's house in the village for the weekend. He said he wanted to introduce me to his family, and I was excited. We'd been dating for about a year, and this felt like the next step. But when we arrived at the house, something felt off. The house was old, too quiet, and the only light came from a dim bulb hanging in the living room. Tunde said his uncle had traveled but insisted we could stay. I trusted him. Why wouldn't I? Later that night, I woke up to the smell of burning herbs. It was sharp and bitter, and it made my stomach churn. Before I could sit up to check, I felt hands grab me, strong, rough hands that weren't tongues. I was dragged out of the room and tied to a wooden chair in another part of the house. My screams were muffled by a cloth shoved into my mouth. When the blindfold was pulled off, I saw Tunde standing with two other men. He wasn't the same Tunde who used to send me sweet messages or hold my hand when I was scared. This Tunde looked possessed, his face emotionless, his eyes glowing with something dark. "She's perfect," one of the men said, holding up a small bowl filled with red liquid. Blood. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't understand what was happening. Was this a dream? A nightmare? Tunde stepped closer to me. "See me," he said in a voice I barely recognized. "It's nothing personal. I just need more money, more power." I shook my head, tears streaming down my face. I tried to scream, to beg, but the cloth in my mouth muffled every sound. The other men started chanting, and Tunde picked up a knife from the table. My mind raced. I thought of my mother, my siblings, my friends. I didn't want to die. Not like this. Story to be continued. Get notified of new videos by subscribe to our channel and be a part of the journey.